Court. Okay, so we have an example to practice what I have explained to you yesterday of what erratic motion is about and how we can develop a graph out of, for example, if velocity is given, how can we develop or plot A versus T, which means acceleration versus T graph, or we plot position versus T graph out of if V versus T is given. In this example, we have position, a bicycle moves along a straight road. This bicycle is moving along a straight road such that its position is described by the graph shown in this figure. This is the figure in which we could see the bicycle is moving on a straight road or path. So construct VT and AT graphs for when T is in between 0 and 30 seconds. So that means we have to plot two graphs. One is V sub T and the other one is A versus T, okay? V versus T and A versus T, velocity versus time and acceleration versus time. So who could explain the concept of what we need to do in order to construct both of VT and AT? Who could explain to us what we should do as a concept? If we have, you can raise your hand on Zoom so that I pick you to explain to me the concept, what we need to do in order to, what is given, in fact, what we need to do to plot V versus T and A versus T. So who is willing to Shajin? Okay, Shajin. So we have S versus T. So we need to, what to do? What is given? You tell me, what is given? Chiman here, what is given?
بهاي اس هي هاوكي شيء اس.
Okay, this is. Okay, so how many functions or how many equations do we have for S as a function of T? How many equations?
here.
Yeah, two equations. One is S is equal to 0.3 times T squared. This is one. And the other one is S is equal to 6 times T minus 30, right? Okay, so what this function for what period of time this function is suitable or is applicable? This function or this equation is applicable for a range of T, from where to where of T. This function is, yeah.
للصفر هتاوكو دا هاوكي شيء كم بكارده لده هتاوكو سي هاوكي شيء جوا.
Exactly. So from 0 to 10 we can make use of this equation to plot V versus T, and from 10 to 30 we can make use of this equation to plot the rest of the VT or V versus T, right? Okay, so what you're gonna do, what you need to do to get V, you know, the concept of V is what? The definition of V is equal to what? Who else could continue? Yakedika. V is equal to what? Who else could continue other than Shajin? Who else? Rosa, Bale. Exactly. So V is equal ds over dt. So that means we need to get the differential or differentiate, sorry, the equation, the first equation, this one, which means we need to get V is equated, V for this one, okay, we're gonna get V now for this one. So it would be equal to 0.6 times T, right? This is the first equation. Okay, for the domain is from T in between. T is in between what? Is in between 0 and 10. Exactly. Okay, so we can represent the graph. So you just, what you need to do now to draw the graph, what you need to do.
أستاذ ما بستطيع بونمنا ویکی و بینم یا خیراکی
بله
داتاش راوی تی 22 دیوارگیرین لماوی صفر بوده ها کشکه سکسان به تی 22 بخول رسمکه دره
یا
هراز داتاش راوی دیبو تی 22 ورگیرین ویلوستیکه دی دست کوید و داتاش راوی دوباره بو ویلوستی ورگیرین اکسلریشنکه دی دست کوید بس لماوی صفر بوده.
بله. So we plug in T from 0 to 10 to get this plot, to get this line. Okay? Okay. So who could tell me what is the slope of this line? Slope Acacia. What is the slope of this line? Slope Amaya. Slope Ama. Ama lesser Ama. Ama lesser Awa. What is the slope of this line? You get the value, which is 6 over 10. So 6 over 10 is the slope, right? Or 2 over 5. 2 over 5, 6 over 10 is equal to 2 over 5. So 2 over 5 is the slope of this graph. Okay? So how... Vale. Yes.
Let's slope.
اي نابي بزاني او لاين سلوبا كي تشانا اي شلون زاني انجلا كي تشانا مثلا اما تشانا الزاويه ام انجلا غوشي تشانا شلون اي زاني غوشي اما شلون زاني اوانا سيا بيستا يعني استعمل غوشا كي شاست بي لقل اجا لاين كي دي كمان هبي بيست بي همان غوشي ابي
الشرطنيه
نك شرطنيه دو لاينت هيا هر یکی سلوپی خوی هيا همان گوشه هيا
نه شرط نیه استاد
نك شرط نیه نابي بڵێ شرط نیه ئەڵێ نەخێر یەک گۆشەی نابێت چۆن ئەڵێ شرط ئەو معنای کە ئەڵێ شرط نییە معنای ئەوەیە لەوانەیە یەک گۆشەی بێ لەوانەیە گۆشەی نەبێ. Okay, so we need to get the slope. Once you know the slope, you can know that what is the angle of this line. يعني بزاني أو line لا angle كي channel لقال x axis. أم angle channel أم angle. Slope يعني شي slope. How can you get theta? بابلين theta. Theta is the angle. How can we get theta? نايزانن. Theta is equal tan inverse.
برابر ستة نشت.
هين برابر لستنيش which is the slope. وانيا slope كير. برابر لستنيش slope كير. يعني او وتمانشانا ده لسر شش لسر ده. شش لسر ده. اوكي. ششش لسر ده يعني دو لسر بينج. وانا عينشته يعني شش لسر ده يعني دو لسر بينج. عيشته. Okay. So okay. So what is left now? Who would complete what is left of the question? Let us check. Hold on, I need to admit Heidi is coming. Who else can now maybe share one? Share one.
Better Ustaz.
Yeah, you continue how to solve the rest of the question.
باش أستاذ. بسيار شكرا.
يلا. Okay. Share one.
استاذ هر هاوکێشەی دووەم
Mhm.
داشراوی لێ وەرەگرین بۆی ببتە خێراییەوە دەستکەوی لە کاتی دە چرکە تا سی چرکە
Çana bir. Çan eki. Çi eki ama. Çiğli eki. V is equal to what?
V equals to 6
How did you get the 6? Çan zani 6.
کە تاواکارێکە لێ وەرەگرین شەشتی بەس شەشەکەی ئەمینێتەوە سێکەشەوی تەست
So does it is it within this domain 10 to 30? So that means it's constant. So V is constant. Why? V is constant for the whole range. So we get this plot. We will get this plot which is constant. Our devinin ama inclined. Lerawa. Bu era is constant. Okay? Tamam.
تاوە
Okay. Bash. Amtana. Does it belong to this side or does it belongs to this side? To the left side or to the right side? 10. Huh. Oh, it's common between the both. Abdullah.